Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Iceage LP, You're Nothing.
Me?
No, that wasn't directed at you. Iceage is a Danish punk rock outfit. This is their sophomore LP. But not only are they a punk band, but in their music they have brought together in this new LP and their debut LP elements of hardcore punk, post-punk, noise rock, and tons of compression on the overall mix of these tracks, giving the songs a very kind of heavy, boomy quality. The band can be pretty brutish, but they're no strangers to detail when you kind of dig deeper beyond the fact that everything is so echoey, so distorted, so noisy. Because even though these guys are very loud, in a sense they're kind of carrying a depressive torch for groups like Joy Division and other Danish post-punk acts as well, like the Sods. And it's no surprise that these guys are fans as well of groups like Death in June, of black metal artists as well. Through these influences, these guys take their hopelessness, they take their anguished emotions, and they get really aggressive with them. The band is just as abrasive as they've always been, but on this album you're getting a few dance beats. There are some group vocals here and there singing la 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 la. The instrumentation and the production overall is a bit cleaner, a little less lo-fi. There are some new ideas, but what originally has made the band's music so appealing to some, but I would say unappealing to most, is still there. To the point where there are some tracks on here where I really do kind of feel like there's nothing new to report, like the song Burning Hand or the other track Rasa Saval. To me, these tracks are a little maybe middle of the road for Iceage. They're not particularly aggressive or fast or depressive or noisy or anything like that. They are passable and they're fine and they feel like they fit within the band's typical style, but it's not like they do anything new to define it or experiment with it. Overall, they kind of blend into the ferocity of this 28-minute blast that sneaks in just a tick longer than the debut LP. Aside from those two tracks, for me personally, there's not any really major downsides for me on this album outside of a very eerie, well-textured and well put together but kind of ill-placed interlude right at the third track on the album, which unfortunately kind of cuts off the momentum that the LP has going up to that point thanks to the first two tracks. The opener of this album is the song ECSTASY. And when this song hits, if you don't like it, I would say just get the hell out and turn back. Because this song kind of highlights what turns a lot of people off when it comes to Iceage. Their playing can be really, really loose, and that seems to be the case as the band kind of breaks into this disco dance beat with these 16th notes on the hi-hat with this alternating bass drum and this snare, and over this are these tremoloed guitars and bass, which are just being strummed really quickly but not necessarily in tandem with the beat in, you know, perfect syncopation, and it creates this really dense, thick wall of guitar noise over this dance beat, which, I mean, to me is wildly catchy and just sort of weird, but, you know, could be kind of, I guess, needlessly noisy to other people. After this, the band kind of reveals this looseness to be kind of an act, kind of a facade, as they quickly shift away from these tremoloed guitars to this very fast-paced, you know, sets of riffs. They totally switch gears, go much faster, and when the hook breaks in, they switch gears yet again and not only change the speed but kind of change the emotion too, because it goes from this aggression and it goes from this passion to this, you know, dark sadness that, you know, it seems like the singer of the group can't even awake himself from. Pressure, pressure, oh god, no. After this, the pummeling and surprisingly clear track Coalition comes in, a track that I loved earlier this year, talked about in a quickie video earlier this year, and I was actually surprised to just hear how composed the band felt on this track, but just as biting. The song In Haze has these trebly guitars kind of causing a ruckus in the right channel against this relentless punk groove that is enhanced by the band's very boomy sound. I love the jumpy, kind of erratic melody on the hook, and the vocals on this track, to me personally, are fantastic. Yeah, they're not amazing vocals in the traditional sense, but they're so freaking angry. They're fiery, yet apathetic. It's like a pissed off swan song for defeatism. For me, the biggest surprise on this entire LP is the song Morals, which actually to me kind of feels like a post-punk prom song and a bit of a piano ballad led by the band's lead singer. The drums behind this track kind of hammer away on the snare militaristically, and overall the track kind of seems to bring the band into this sort of downtrodden singer-songwriter-like state where all I can kind of, see is like this post-punk prom going on where everybody's sad and breaking up and the punch is spiked, all the girls' mascara is smudged. And there's a sense that I get from this song, specifically from the lyrics, of just kind of personal weakness, which is a feeling I get throughout most of the band's music. This band is far from projecting any kind of emotions or personalities that feel confident or even strong. Instead, it's kind of self-loathing, self-dissecting. And even though people who self-loathe are typically, really just lethargic, I feel like the band gained some kind of catharsis and power and strength from that. The strength to make the head-bashing music that they create. Kind of like another lyric on this LP where I believe the singer says, "Wounded hearts can fight, but it all comes down the same," which is, an extremely pessimistic state of mind. After this track, the extremely catchy song Awake comes through, which has a great guitar melody, very lively vocals. I would say it's really the most high-spirited song on the entire album. And the closing track on this LP is fantastic as well, and has this mantra of "you're nothing" over the hook, kind of, reminding the listener of the band's ethos as the album comes to a finish. Overall, I loved this LP. I feel like it's pretty on par with everything that made the debut album fantastic, with a little bit more diversity. As a result, maybe there were some missteps here and there, especially with that interlude, but still, I thought it was a fantastic album, and is definitely going to be on my favorites list toward the end of this year. I'm feeling a decent to strong 8 on this LP. If you're in the market for some noisy punk music that nihilistically smears itself in distortion, compression, just sonic filth, then get into this LP. If you've given this LP a listen, what do you think of it? Do you love it, hate it, why? What do you think I should review next? And yeah, that's it. Anthony Fantano, Iceage, forever.